Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to hear this Friday morning, wrapping up a good week here. Had some really good guests and all kind of exciting things we had. Next week, same thing. Some great guests coming on and all kind of cool stuff to share with you on the outdoors. Let's first take a look at our weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and the hard-working crew. We're looking at our high today of 64, low of 45. Be a nice cool night. The water temperature at the end of the pier is still hanging in there at 68 degrees. Let's take a look at our river readings brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get outdoors and do. We're looking at the Apalachicola Bluntstown. It's 12.2. That is high. I mean, it wasn't a week or two ago, it was down to 3 feet, but it shot up with all this rain. Same with the Choctaw at Caryville. Boy, the river is rising. It's reading, it's way up there at a 6 foot right now. It's going to start dropping out pretty quick, but by the weekend, it'll be by Sunday, it'll be dropping pretty strong. But right now, there's high water up in those sloughs. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Not good tide today or tomorrow. We're looking at a low tide of 7:41 this morning, a high tide at 8:59, and we're looking at a northwest wind blowing it back, straight back out at 7 miles an hour. So it's not much of any kind of flow we're going to have as far as our tide. So the big thing, the rivers just really, really got up there this week, and it's been a stormy week, and we got some more cold weather coming next week. Looks like so. Just be prepared, and as an outdoorsman, you sort of always know how to plan ahead. And if you drive in your truck, what we had to do in the old days, we if it rained hard in certain areas, we couldn't drive our truck in out in the woods. And if it had dry weather, we knew we could go in those spots. So y'all know what I'm talking about. It don't seem like it's as bad now. A lot of those areas are just not as rough and tough as it used to be. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So glad you're with us. I want to say a good morning to Richard and Fidelis Holmes up in Opp, Alabama. Watch the show every morning. I appreciate the viewership, appreciate the prayers y'all send out to us. So we really appreciate y'all. Now let's get into some pictures and what I got something coming up. These pictures always just what a reflection of the Florida Panhandle. You'll see what I'm talking about. Now one thing I'll talk about later on during the fishing report. Winter surf fishing, late fall surf fishing and winter surf fishing is usually better than you think. And I'm going to go through a couple of pictures here. This is Richard Scoop Jackson down at fishing off the Cape. I've showed his pictures. He had on a regular basis, he was out there surf fishing and sending us pictures of these big bull reds. And they really did a good job with them. And of course, these are too big to keep. You don't want to keep them anyway. They don't taste good. But what a fun thing to do. Now, this was about a week or two ago. And whoa, look at here. There are a lot of sharks around the St. Joe Peninsula. And be aware of that. And the fishing with buddies right there. So that would be, 30 years ago I was doing that right there in the same spot. So I know, and I still do it. With the same kind of buddies. This is what I wanted to share with you also. The Edwards family, McLean, okay. McLean is not a lawyer. Okay, but here it is, and his dad went to school with me, and his mom. Another year, another family squirrel hunt in the books. Best day of the year, and yes, we do eat them, and yes, they do taste like chicken. And if you remember, I went up there with them a couple years ago. I did some video, did a story on them. All these are the Edwards clan, a long time West Gaston County family. They spread out now, but don't they look like a bunch of squirrel hunters? I'm glad they still get together. I know almost every one of them, but, the younger ones. But anyway, McLean is I believe he's a lawyer in Tallahassee. And here they are cleaning the squirrels. How many TV shows going to show you a bunch of folks cleaning squirrels, a bunch of young people cleaning the squirrels? And don't they look good? And they fry them up. And yes, they do taste like chicken. All right, McLean. And all right. coming out of Howard Creek, Ron Rambo. This is on Doc Whitfield Road. That's the road going into Howard Creek. And there's Mama Bear going across the road, and here comes Baby Bear right behind her. Okay, good picture there. This is just, if you don't have access to hunting and all, and still want a young person to hunt with, I've mentioned it, I want to go over this again. The outfit is called the Future of Hunting. They have a few open spots for the last hunt on the Tedoja property, in western Tallahassee. I like to think it's south of Quincy, but it's $100, but what it covers, all the meals and snacks, beverages, for both you and your child. They're minors, 17 and under, and you can camp out down there. Camping is primitive, but you can bring a tent, camp or RV. And here's a phone number if you're interested. You know, it's a good deal, 813-918-7610. If it's a weekend hunt and it covers all the food and takes you a place to hunt, that's a heck of a deal right there. And that just covers paying taxes on the land and buying, putting up the tree stands and all that. So, and here's that. If you want to check them out, the Future of Hunting in Florida. I've had them on before, and I appreciate what they're trying to do, keeping our young people going in there. Okay, this a black drum picture. This is down in Carabel, fishing off of a dock in Carabel. And this particular person did not have a net, and he couldn't get them out of the water, so they had to cut the line. And so always, and he was talking about he knew better not to have a net. Here it is again, and he couldn't get them in. But with that being said, you always have a net if you're fishing from any kind of height. So have some kind of hook to bring them up with. And but the thing about it, they're not very good to eat. They're not at all. So you don't want to really you want to release them anyway. But try to get a hook out of the mouth. You know how I love these these ground blinds and tree blinds. This one caught me by surprise, and I thought you would appreciate it, me sharing this one with you. So, in between garbage days, you can take it out there and set it up. That looks like and a little step ladder to get in. I've never seen that before. That's very creative. Okay, like fishing rods are like potato chips. You can't have just one. Is that not the truth? Oh, you got to have a bunch of them. Okay, if you want to go hiking on January 1st, the first day of the year, they're doing it at T.H. Stone State Park and down in St. Joe Peninsula State Park. And if you just touch base with them, and they're going to go like at 10 o'clock, I think, 10 o'clock. I love this one. Look back. At the end of the year, look back and be grateful. Look ahead and be hopeful, and look around and be helpful. I just thought that was a good one to end on. So that takes care of our little picture parade we have, and thank you all for sharing a lot of them with us. And we find some ourselves, and I love to hear everything from squirrel hunts to catching redfish in the surf and all kind of cool things. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's go into our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. Let's do it right now. We're looking at our time, 4:54 to 6:54 this morning, and this evening from 5:14 to 7:14. I know all kinds of things going on, but the other day I was looking at the shark tracker, and it's something that struck me pretty strong. I was trying to find it, the shark tracker. I want to see if I saw this picture the other day. And let me see if I can get back to it. I may not. I can't get back to it. Okay, I couldn't find it. I'm not waste any time on it. Okay, let's go to fish rules. I want to go ahead. This is another one of my apps. Fish rules, and we're talking about the black drum and how well it tastes and all. So I went down. I scrolled through. And like I say, everything's in alphabetical order. There's the black drum. So I hit on it. And it gives, I know you can't read it, but you can, the limit is 5, and you can catch one under 24 inches, but the slot size is 14 inches to 24. And always down there, right in the middle where it says additional information, I always hit on there because it talks about the edibility of it, okay? And there's the edibility, and you can't read it. It says good, okay? It just says good. I know, okay, so then I go down, the cousin of the black drum is a red drum, which is what we call the redfish. So I'm going to hit on it. Same thing, you know the limit, of course, 18 to 27, and you keep one. But I want to go down to additional information because I got a kick out of this. This edibility is very good. And the reason I enjoyed it because it talked about the black drum. That means the black drum don't taste good at all. You have good and then very good. So redfish tastes better than the cousin, the black drum. So I just want to share that with you. Okay, now, it's always pleasant to receive. It's always nice to receive things, but of course more fun to give. But I just want to share with you the folks here at Fox 28, Donna and Shauna, gave me my Christmas presents, okay? And this is really cool. I wanted to share it with you. I always joke to them about coming on the show with them. They're very shy when it comes around the camera, but they work hard here at Fox 28, I can promise you. But check this out. This is a canvas tote bag. That's canvas, and they had my initials put on it. Is that not cool or what? And open it up. I mean, you know how canvas, how tough it is. And inside there, another smaller bag, canvas bag with a zip, so you can put stuff in it. And it put my initials on it, but it said they had trouble finding my initials because but anyway, they find them. This has meant a lot to me, so thank you, Sean and Donna, and the folks here at Fox. And I will definitely use this. You can put you just never have enough stuff to, it got a strap on it. If you're like me, you're always taking stuff. Well, this is a good tote bag here. So thank y'all. That was a sweet thing to do. Okay. Another thing, I meant to bring a puzzle part. About a couple years ago, I had a guy on the show, Gino Peoples. He's an artist and a local guy, graduated from Rutherford, played baseball over there, and went on and played baseball in college over there, up there in Mississippi. I won't say northeast Mississippi, but I still see Gino around a good bit. And love big outdoorsman, but he does these paintings. And what happened about 2 years ago, the Buffalo Company, got him a license. They started bringing his art in and cutting it up in puzzles. It's called Buffalo Puzzles. And I want to recommend to you, if you look at my last minute gift or something, this is a local artist, and his artist is great. He's under contract. He's got to do 9 paintings a year to send it to Buffalo Puzzles, and they put them online. And I was talking to him just the other day, and he sold, last year they sold over $1 million worth of his puzzles. And they use other artists too, but they like Gino's work so much that they have him under contract. You got to do, like I said, 9 a year, and also teaches art. But I just thought we have one, and he said, listen, he said, when you put it together, I'll autograph it for you, and autograph the box and all. I just thought, talking about doing stuff local and with local people and all, I just thought that was a cool thing to do. So it's Gino Peoples, and it's under Buffalo Puzzles, if you're looking it up and all, okay? Now let's get ready for our giveaway. We've got all kind of things to talk about. Next week, we have some guests coming in. It's going to be our final week of course, Christmas is next Sunday week, so we're going to do 3 or 4 days next week, and then take that Christmas break, that week off there, and make sure that, that's always a fun time because Jeff and I get to sit down and we get the best of the year, the best of 2022, and I think we'll have 6 or 7 days that we'll be out and we'll show the best of the year. And I always, I look back on the year and say, man, we did have a doggone good time doing that. Look over there, and then look at that, and then Jeff pulls them up, and so it's always some, out of 260 shows a year, you should be able to put up 7 good ones, is what I thought. So that's as you know, the schedule as we go into it. Now let's set up our drawing. And seafood around Christmas time is just part of the tradition here in Florida Panhandle. You got to have seafood sometime during Christmas holidays. For the winner of the $20 gift certificate at Tarpon Dock, okay, you know what? This guy's won before. I'm not going to call his name, but he's won before. I know him personally. All right, the winner of the $20 gift certificate. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if that's ever happened. Be on twice. Steve Rogers. Steve was on the show the other day. All right, Steve. And the winner of the red snapper. See, here is just a great example of Steve came in the show, did that rod for Jeff and gave it to him. And look what happened. A couple days later, he wins a $200 gift certificate. So you do good things happen. All right, the winner of the Big Red Snapper is going to be from Panama City Beach, Debbie Harris. All right, Debbie. Panama City Beach and the Sand Hills. So, all right, we're going to take a minute to get set up for our Friday fishing forecast for the weekend, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. First of all, when we get started, I want to sort of clarify the flounder situation I talked about early part of the week. We showed all those flounder, the divers are spearing and all. The season, don't get me wrong, the season opens up for everyone on December 1st. For divers and fishermen and giggers, it's closed October 15th to November 30th. And when it opens back up, but here's the kicker, when it does open back up, the flounder are not in the bay anymore, they're all out there. So the only, like I said, the only group to get them would be the divers, and it's sort of hard to fish on some of the days with the wind, all these fronts coming through like we've had. So I just want to make sure that you understood it was not just for the season, not just for them. It's closed all over. But December 1st, boom, when it opens up. I had a couple of guys, two really good guys, flounder men, excellent, been doing it all their life, and they went out on December the 1st trying to gig. And this guy, who's probably one of the best around, he saw two flounder. So that tells you how they're out. The same, if it had been back in October, he would have got his limit in about 30 minutes. This guy would have. So that's the difference there. And speaking of fronts and all, we just having that front come through. We talk all the time about in outdoors how the fronts are so important to the outdoors. So I can't get some of this stuff off. Anyway, I want to move. The front came through, okay, and it was blowing, and we talked about it before. It stirs up the water. The fish sort of hunker down, and right now the water temperature is not cool off in the bay for the fish to do much. They're still the trout. The trout sort of the barometer of the things that we go by, the trout fishing. So they're still out in the flats and all. They haven't really. We said they're starting to stage, but from talking to people, they're not staging as quick as I thought they would be. So anyway, the front comes through, stirs them up, and then they really get in a feeding frenzy. So that's what happens after the front comes through. It's always going to be some wind. Like it'll be coming out of the northwest today. But if you find some areas like the next couple of days, even with the low tides and all, the fishing is going to be good. Quickly, I want to say something about freshwater. It's been a slow week on freshwater. It's going to be a slow weekend on freshwater, and we talked about the reasons. When the water, of course, when it rains like it does, the water gets just muddy, and it's just, again, the freshwater fish, they just move around. I've talked to bass fishermen. I talked to some last week. I mentioned it last week about a couple of guys in a tournament. They won a tournament by going about 40-something miles up the river to catch those bass. And the same way with just a little irrigation pond, they'll get muddy and the fish just don't eat as much. So weather and the rain and the wind blowing like that affects it so much in the outdoors. Now, as far as hunting and all, it's a big deal because it wets the ground. You can see the tracks better. It sort of gets the pollen and everything settled down, and you can just see a lot better. More leaves are blown off the trees, so you got better sight, better vision, and you can walk through the woods quieter. So just have to take what nature gives us and do the best you can with it. But on the freshwater fishing, it's just going to be slow. It's going to really be slow. I listed 4 places for fishing: inshore, surf, bridges and pier, and intercoastal. Those 4 places would be the places to go. On inshore, I just talked about that. So those going down to surf fishing, it stirs up. I see it all the time. Those waves stir up the bait and everything. It's mud in the surf. A day or two later, it starts clearing up, and the trough where the water goes out between the sandbars, it's going to be out a little bit deeper because all that rough water is just going to be rushing out. Okay, so just more movement there. The trough that you found last summer, it will be a little bit deeper. So that's what you want to fish, those troughs. As the water goes out, you'll see them between the sandbars. We've talked about it before. Also, The bait, if you can use any kind of, this time of year, dead shrimp, any kind of shrimp, but fish bites are my go-to bait. And on bridge fishing, I talk about it almost every Friday. If you can get some fiddler crabs and catch some sheephead, we're getting into that season. So bridge fishing and pier fishing is going to be good. Down around East Point, I always like to point out the East Point Bridge. It's just such a good area and all. Go into St. George Island, right here in the center, right here. Okay. This bridge right here, if you're in that area, if you can get on that bridge, and it's just, especially the wind's going to be coming out, be coming out of west from our left or our right. And so you want to get on, if you're looking at it, you want to fish on the right side of the pier, okay, as it blows it out. Because that way your bait will be going out with the tide going out. So little things like that, and this is just a good fishing bridge. And then on the south side, also down here, fishing off this area right in here. That's just some good trout fishing, good things doing there. Intercoastal, I talked a lot about intercoastal last week, but if you can get into the boat ramps and all, you don't have to go far. Some of the boat ramps are sort of getting messed up now, but we'll talk about that later on. But if you get around some areas where down in Highland View is a good area, over in West Bay, around the bridge, from Choctawhatchee going to Choctawhatchee Bay, going in about a half a mile or so, some really good spots there to fish like that. I'm gonna run out of time. We've had a great week. I appreciate the viewership and enjoy the guests that came on, and I appreciate the feedback y'all sent us. Y'all finish up your Christmas shopping now, support our sponsors. You have a great weekend, enjoy our beautiful outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.